私たちだけで決めちゃったけど、先輩は予定とか大丈夫？
Yes, my name is VitaminDStain and welcome back. Or welcome to Chronoclock. If you are new here, please go back to video 1. Thank me later. And if you're not, welcome back. Let's get started. Yeah, I'm free. I wanted to ask her about violin practice, but of course she was the one person who would have taken that more into consideration than anyone else. In other words, right now this outing was more important.
兄様と一緒に出かけるのは久しぶりですから楽しみです。最近は美咲さんが兄様を独占していますからね。
Thank God.
美咲さんも兄様も何をしているのか教えてくれませんし。
悪かったわよ。
All that practicing was still a secret between Misaki and I, so I started to do my best to keep it on the wraps. Though the longer we kept it a secret, the more suspicious people would end up getting. My water's behind me again. I want to get up. Oh, by the way, I'm currently exporting episode 32 as I'm recording episode 33. Getting ready to upload it. Michiru must have been having a laugh acting like she was gonna sell us out or something. Anyway, fun for later. And after class. As soon as homeroom ended, I grabbed my bag and called out to Didi. And we talked about it over lunch break, so you won't need to accompany Michiru home. And we talked about it over lunch break, so you don't need to accompany Michiru home today.
つまり後輩2人とハーレムルートをご希望ですね。
How did it come to this? You can't call it a harem if it's just two people.
追加をご希望ですか？私も胸が控えめですから、ロリ枠になりますか？
Frick no.
残念、無念です。
Did you just say what a titty? Drop the breast jokes already. That one was so bad it's quite a pity in itself. Besides, why are you even chatting me up about lollies anyway?
レイ君の好みが美咲さんとみちるさんでしたので、もしやレイ君は同年代でもいける口なのですか？
Well, duh, heck, if it's not like a 1-year age difference, is that far from being the same age anyway.
でしたら私もハーレム入りですね。
Would you kindly take your assumption that I'm even trying to make a harem at all and shove it up your ass? And besides, those two have bigger racks on them than you anyway.
最近の大和なでしこは発育が良すぎです。
Dude, what's with Didi in this route? She's straight up degenerate.
二人とも教室で何言ってるの？
Is the teacher ever in the classroom? They're always talking about what are you doing during class, da 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 da, but you never hear or see the teacher.
Oh.
Biddies and harems? So we're being watched. We were. The rumor mill's gonna be pretty active with no shortage of bull crap tomorrow. A whole lot of bull.
付き合う相手は一人じゃなきゃダメでしょ？
Right, that was the problem here to start with. Oh, Makoto.
あれ、先輩、もしかして待ってた？
私たちもすぐに教室を出たつもりだったのですが、もしかしてそんなに私とデートがしたかったのですか？
私たちとでしょ？
I guess. I couldn't stick around in that classroom after all. What kind of rumors are they spreading now? Oh crap, the window. I can see my classmates peering out the window. Really?
兄様？どうして黄昏ているのですか？
Huh?
Beleaguered.
I hate English.
Beleaguered.
Tomorrow's totally gonna suck. I couldn't get Makoto's intense, laser-focused glare out of my head.
先輩、もしかして疲れてる？具合が悪いんだったら明日でもいいわよ。
It's not that kind of exhaustion. I'm fine. Heck, it's the kind of exhaustion I want to forget about right now, so let's get going. But now that I've been spotted, I'm just gonna have my butt run ragged even more now. Staying gloomy wouldn't have done them any good, so I had to pull myself together. So, what's our destination?
実は特に決めてないのよね。
先日のデートをなぞるのではないのですか？
それは断ったでしょ。なんでみちるに教えなきゃいけないのよ。
美咲さんが虚言を漏していないかを確認するためです。
嘘なんてついてないわよ。恥ずかしいから言いたくないの。
Judging them from their discussion, it wasn't like they hadn't discussed what to do at all. It was more like they hadn't agreed on what to do yet. I guess they must have talked it over during break period. Like good friends. They're such good friends in this room. Like the bestest of friends. They probably ended up roping Miyu into it too. I'll have to thank her next time.
とにかくデートのことは説明しないけど、繁華街には行くってことでいいのよね。
私は構いませんよ。兄様はいかがですか？
I'm fine with that. I don't really need to buy anything, so I'll just tag along. But Michiru, wouldn't you rather go somewhere less bustling than that?
兄様と一緒でしたら、どこであっても私にとっては天国ですから。ですが、少しばかり心細いので、はぐれないように手をつないでくださいますか？
Of course. Heck, I can't leave you to your own devices in a crowded place like that to start with.
でしたら、腕を組んで密着した方が安全ですね。
Okay, Misaki.
それが目的ね。
Upon hearing Misaki's accusing voice, I felt a shiver down my spine. But Michiru acted as if it didn't concern her at all.
あら、今日のお誘いは美咲さんからではありませんか？
それはそうだけど。
私と兄様の仲を応援してくださるのですよね。美咲さんのような素敵な友人を得られて、私は本当に幸せ者です。
Yeah, right. The way she's saying it, them's fighting words.
だったら素敵な友人のお願いを聞いてくれるかな。
兄様に抱きしめられたいのでしたら、美咲さんからお願いしてみてはいかがです？
そんなお願いじゃないわよ。
I'm definitely not in the mood for having a girl on each of my arms right now. Arms? I don't remember. Oh, incidentally, Misaki's request was to hold my hand, not my arm. Yep, being in a mixed gender group of people who are all, ostensibly, flirting with each other really is suffering. The
こ
sister,
う
she
して
gotta
兄
go.
様とデ
Kill
ートを
her. I
する
mean,
のは
kill her? I mean,
久しぶりですね。
no, that's not what I meant. Don't kill her.
3人でデートとは言わないでしょ。
では、デートをする2人と付き添いの1人で。
2人はそういう関係じゃないでしょ。
それは美咲さんも同じでしょ。
だからデートじゃなくてもいいじゃない。
As we continued the banter like that, we continued walking around, browsing around the shops. Since Michiru and Misaki were definitely a rare pair of pretty young things, they drew a lot of attention for that. And of course, I got a lot of attention as well for being with them, but definitely not the good kind of attention.
はためからは手をつないで歩く私たちがどう見えるのでしょうね。
Oh, please just let it be as siblings. I couldn't exactly say I was objecting to this state of affairs, but I didn't want people to think of me as a player or anything.
周りの目が気になるなら私が代わってあげてもいいのよ。
私は兄様と手をつないでいたいのです。それに兄様も美咲さんには私を任せられないと思うでしょうね。
そうなの？
Misaki, it's not like I think you're untrustworthy, okay? But when I just walk into school here, we're in a crowded spot right now, so things could get dangerous for her.
紛らわしい言い方しないでよね。
Right, she's blind. Right. We're about to finish this game, and I just keep forgetting. Isn't that crazy?
申し訳ありません。言葉足らずでしたね。
Matching them carrying on like that was heartwarming. Watching them, not matching. Well, at least it was when I was just a casual observer. Being stuck in the middle with them was making me nervous. I would be pretty dang nervous too. Looking back with the benefit of hindsight, maybe it would have been better for me to break away from them after all. He just realized that. That thought occurred to me a few minutes later, having ended up in the front of a store which specialized in underwear and other lingerie. Yeah, did I say that right? It looks like lingerie, but I think it's lingerie. Isn't that stupid?
兄様はどのような下着が私に似合うと思いますか？
Why is Misaki? And why is he Huh?
突然なんてこと聞いてるのよ。
売り場の前ですから、そうおかしなことではないと思いますが。
だからってどうして先輩に聞くのよ。
You know what I just realized? Out of all the heroines, I think Misaki has been the only one so far, or probably will be the only one, that has been acting like, what the frick is up with you and your bro? I don't recall those reactions for Makoto, for Didi, for literally anybody else, except Misaki. Like, she gets it. She's the only one that gets it. Like, yo, hey, yo, what is this?
兄様の好みを知りたいからですが、見せたい相手は兄様しかいませんし。
見せたいとか言わないの。
でしたら、美咲さんも一緒に選んでもらえます？
一緒にって、二人一緒はダメだからね。
何を考えているのかは聞きませんが、兄様好みの下着は持っていて損ではありませんよ。
Sorry, but another thing. You guys know how in the last episode I was talking about how I wasn't sure how I felt about the last episode? Well, like I mentioned earlier, I just finished editing that video and I'm actually uploading it right now. But now that I think about it, maybe this route was just not meant to be anything serious. Maybe this route was just meant to be completely degenerate and unserious. And I should just take it as it is for what it is, right? Yeah. In that case, I retract my statements about not knowing how to feel. Like, still, it's questionable. And I still am a little bit unsure of how to feel. But if I look at it as it's just a for funsies route, a dumb route, degenerate route, for the comedic purposes, then you know what? It's solid. It's really solid.
それはそうかもだけど、でも直接聞くなんて。
What the heck kind of discussion are they having anyway? I wanted to warn them to watch themselves, but I definitely didn't want to draw even more attention to us right now. But I couldn't just hang back from them either.
あとは、下着の構造を知ってもらえば、脱がしてもらうときにも役立ちますよ。
脱がし、いや、ちょっとそれはまだ早いから。
Oh, come on. How am I supposed to get a word in when the conversation ends up going there? Oh, Christ. I should have just let Didi pick underwear out. Besides, they should have just opted to choose themselves from the start anyway.
脱がしてしまえば同じだろうが。
Oh my god, where have you been, my savior? You couldn't read the situation if it bit you in the butt, you know that? In any case, didn't think you'd pop up here. Were you following me?
いいよ。モノレールに乗っておったら、ご主人たちが見えたからな。
I guess I wasn't just seeing things. But seeing her looking so jovial, I turned away, wishing I were seeing things.
ともかく、下着を先輩に選ばせるのはやめなさい。そういうのは年頃の女の子がするべきじゃないわ。
年頃だからするのですよ。年齢を重ねすぎて、下着にすら興味を持ってもらえなくなっては遅いでしょ。それに、言うではありませんか。女は見られて、美しくなると。
さすがにそれは言い過ぎていうか、もう少し関係を進めてからにした方が。
Misaki was on the verge of giving in as I was trying to ignore the situation. I wish she'd stop looking at me. I wouldn't be able to refuse if she gave me her big soulful eyes routine. Well, why don't we stop for a little rest? There's a cafe over there.
ご休憩ですか？
バカ言ってるんじゃないわよ。喫茶店でそんなことできるわけないでしょ。
Yep, better not say anything to that. If I retorted, as per usual, this conversation would probably end up going on forever. Good call. And so my wallet had to take one for the team. It was all in the name of changing the direction of conversation. Well, I'd been planning to treat both of them to start with anyway. Is that so? Since Misaki and Michiru stopped bantering, it appeared my good intentions had bore fruit. Unfortunately, both of them ended up trying to feed me instead. Oh boy, that rivalry is crazy. It wouldn't have been wise to stick around for too long, so we left the cafe. And I assure you that had absolutely nothing with me not being able to stand the glares everyone shot at us. Is there anything else you'd like to go? Eh? Huh? Is there anywhere else you'd like to go? As long as it's somewhere I won't have any problem showing my face at.
それなら少しだけいい？
Misaki raised her hand. Evidently she just come up with an idea.
私はみちるとちょっと用事があるから、先輩は一人で時間潰してもらえる？
And that idea was to shoo me away out of nowhere, evidently. Given how many scathing remarks I got subjected to in my daily life, I was just about at the end of my wits. Well, I guess I can just wander around here for a bit.
兄様を邪魔者扱いするなんてひどいお人ですね。
そういう話じゃないの。
ほら美咲さん、用件があるのなら早く済ませましょう。
ちょっとみちるが先行してどうするのよ。危ないから手をつなぎなさい。
女の子同士で手をつなぐとドキドキしますね。
I couldn't read that first T. I thought it was an H, and then I thought it was like an L upside down.
おかしなこと言ってないで行くわよ。先輩も用事が済んだら連絡するから。
では兄様、行ってまいります。
Okay, be careful. Puffing out her cheeks in a childish manner to mask her embarrassment, Misaki followed along with Michiru's slow gait. Watching both of them walking off like that made me think, dang, they really do have good chemistry. Or they're not having a rivalry over you. But even so, today Michiru was teasing Misaki at every slightest hint of an opportunity to do so. I knew it was fun to get a rise out of Misaki and see how she reacted, but she seemed to have some kind of ulterior motive. Bro, I've been saying, like, well, actually, no, I have not been saying. For example, trying to cheer on Misaki and me. She must have been exploiting Misaki's jealousy towards her in order to help Misaki overcome her own embarrassment. That didn't really seem to be a reach either. After all, it was Michiru's prodding that allows us to hold hands earlier this morning. Still, excuse me, we had to save the real deal for after the contest. I guess Misaki's frustrations must be piling up or something. Was that why she pulled Michiru aside? She probably wanted to tell her, "Don't push your luck, Missy," or something like that. If that's her intention, she must be letting the dogs of war loose. Since at the time I figured maybe I could go and buy some sweets for the two of them. I didn't think they were having a serious fight or anything, but if things ever did come to that, the route to resolving things was undoubtedly through their stomachs.
ようやくご主人と二人になれたな。
Yes, you're right. Oh, stop it. The way you're wording that makes it sound like I'm on a date with you or something. My guilt about leaving Misaki to her own devices was bubbling to the surface.
気にするな。他の者からは見えんからな。お主が一人ではしゃいでいると思われるだろう。
Right. I love doing that. That just makes me feel lonelier. If anything, Kuro was the one getting worked up. She was chasing after a little girl holding a balloon. For crying out loud, who's the real child in this situation? All the same, I couldn't help but continue to watch that heartwarming sight. Love that.
ご主人よ。家で待っている女子に貢ぎ物を買わんのか？
The girl at home? I'm still intending to buy something for Didi though. The way you worded that doesn't really sound right to me. I walked through the crowd with Kuro following along beside me. Since it wasn't a working day, there were a lot of people around. But thanks to that, I was able to talk to Kuro without sticking out very much. I still figured it was a better idea to go somewhere with less people around. Thus, we headed in the direction of the park. However, I sensed a strange atmosphere from the people around. There was a large crowd there and the atmosphere seemed to weigh heavy with uneasiness.
ご主人、様子がおかしいぞ。
Huh? Nodding in response to Kuro's words, I made haste in moving towards the middle of where that commotion was. And that's when I saw it. A flowing river of red. I got chills. This isn't one of the girls, right? The girl's body sprawled upon the ground. There was no way in heck she'd throw herself there of her own volition. Arms and legs outstretched, hair disheveled, clothes stained with the vivid color of red. That river of red continued to pool around her. Misaki was saying something. Tears were streaming down her face. I had to comfort her. I collapsed to my knees beside them and held out my hand. I felt the warmth of her palm, the dying warmth of her palm. Her stare was vacant and empty, but there was no doubt she had recognized me. That red flower which lay blooming upon the ground somehow, but just barely, managed to open those lips which were losing their color.
Misama.
Michiru? Michiru was collapsed on the ground in a pool of blood while Misaki was hysterically sobbing about how she had suffered a concussion. Considered how serious her look, that meant she was going to
何をしておるのだ
throw the dang watch. The very instant those words fell upon my ears, my body took action without even thinking. What the freak happened? Maybe they did get in an argument and she pushed her or something and she flew off the rail. Oh my god. Yo. What? I did not see that coming. I thought this route was going to be entirely degenerate and unserious. It got real not quick. Late. That's why I'm thrown off right now. Like, what? I'm glad it wasn't Misaki. Look, I don't want anybody to die, but if it had to be between those two, get rid of the sister. I'm sorry. If it's little Michiru, then yeah, no. It has to be Misaki. That wasn't a daydream I was having just now, was it?
何をほうけておるこのバカ者が
Kuran?
しっかりせんか5分しか戻れるのだぞ
Oh, freak, you're right. No more than 5 minutes until... Once that thought crossed my mind, I finally snapped out of the daze I'd been in. Where's Michiru? Is Misaki alright?
みちるの方はわからぬあの怪我が5分前のものかどうかだな美咲は先ほど後ろから自転車にぶつかられてと言っておったが
A bicycle? Bro, that bicycle has it out for her. Still, so that was it. I found myself remembering the time when Misaki had nearly been hit by a bike herself. What was I to do? There were barely any hesitation and thought between that question and its answer. Whipping out my phone, I hit Misaki's name on the speed dial as I frantically weaved through the crowd of people. I was so angry at myself for neglecting the possibility that this might happen. The dial tone continuing to ring without an answer was piling on my anxiety as well. If I were to just be able to give Misaki some kind of warning.
もしもし先輩ちょうど電話しようと
Misaki, where the heck are you?
駅前だけど
If you're taking Michiru somewhere, try to steer clear of large crowds when you're with her. And if you do end up in a crowd, don't just hold her hand. You need to link arms with her. And another thing, try to watch out for your surroundings too. Especially bikes.
おおそうだよねうっかりしてた
美咲さん兄様と話されているのですか
そうだけどちょっとみちる後で代わってあげるから待ちなさい
Through the phone's receivers, I could hear the two of them bantering, lively as ever. The relief I felt upon learning Michiru was safe went hand in hand with the extreme exhaustion I felt from running like this. I was ready to collapse right here on the spot. I felt beyond pathetic, but as long as I had prevented the accident from... Huh? Michiru? Misaki? The commotion from them reached me. My response did not reach them. Just imagining the scene that came to mind again made my knees buckle. Restraining my trace of cowardice, trying to show through as if my own life was at stake, I kicked up the ground as hard as I could, bursting into a sprint almost worthy of a medal. Shoving my way through the crowd and coming to the appointed scene. The pools of red I had feared so deeply were nowhere in sight. Instead, I saw a much smaller crowd than before gathered around Michiru and Misaki, who were crouched on the ground. Michiru, are you okay?
兄様
As I crouched next to her, she immediately turned her head at me. She was as conscious as ever, and she showed no readily discernible injuries at all.
先輩ごめんねみちるのこと任されたのに
Never mind that, are you both okay?
うん 撃だけど。
Phew. Somebody else got hit though.
私も膝を少しすりむいたくらいですね。
でも結構危なかった。先輩、何やってるのよ。
To verify that Michiru really was telling the truth, I ran my hands all along her body. Ankles, thighs, waist, shoulders. She didn't seem to have any injuries or any of those.
兄様ったらこんなところでなんて大胆ですね。
Was that really necessary? Couldn't we just take her word for it? She definitely showed no signs of a concussion. Her breathing and pulse were both normal as well.
兄様、本当に怪我はありませんからね。美咲さんがかばってくれましたから、本当にかすり傷程度です。
Misaki, you really came through. I see. Thank you, Misaki.
お礼を言われるほどじゃないわよ。先輩の電話がなかったら気づけなかっただろうし。
If I hadn't called her, the instant replay in my mind of that memory made my hand tremble. I hugged both of them as tight as I could without even realizing it.
ちょっと先輩、人が見てるから。
Hold on, how was a bike able to kill them like that? Like, was it a motorcycle? A motorcycle, I believe it, but just like a regular bike? That dude had to be going really fast, and even then.
見られながらなんて、兄様は。
Oh, but again, if it's a concussion, maybe a regular bike is enough.
兄様。
Whoops. Christ. I'm so glad you're both okay.
先輩。
The embarrassment they both showed in their voices only lasted for a brief moment. I must have noticed how I was trembling. At the same time, Misaki's tone changed to one of concern. I felt Michiru's arm wrapping around my own back.
兄様は心配性ですね。怪我はないと言っていますのに。
I wonder if they'll realize, wait, how did you know? Or did you know this was going to happen? That's right. That whole incident had now been undone. They were concerned because to them I appeared to be making a mountain out of a molehill. Right now I need to just be glad they're both safe. How could I not worry? I heard screaming over the phone, for Christ's sake. I took a few deep breaths while rubbing my eyes on the sleeve of my shoulder. And the call got cut off right after that too. That just made me even more scared, you know?
スマホを落っことしちゃって。もしかして壊れちゃったかな。
私は傘が曲がってしまいましたね。
At least it wasn't anything more serious than that, though I couldn't say that out loud. Well, next time we go out, we can just replace them. To that end, I made another promise to them. Saying that with happiness in my voice, Misaki and Michiru were both delighted at the prospect of there being a next time. Naturally, I too was happy there could be a next time. So happy that I felt like crying. Damn, that was scary, yo. After me thinking it was just gonna be nothing but unseriousness and degeneracy, I was wrong. But surprised. Pleasantly surprised. Not that I wanted anybody to die, but just the twist. I appreciated that. The police came after a while and sorted out the incident. Basically, Michiru had almost been struck from behind by a bike when Misaki managed to save her. I left the remaining things to sort out on Michiru's end to our servants at home. So what happened to the bike? Michiru seemed to be alright, but just to be certain of that, we had her driven to the hospital. In the meantime, Misaki was homebound herself, so I ended up coming along with her.
ごめんね先輩。わざわざここまで付き合わせちゃって。
It's not a big deal. I'm more worried about letting you go home on your own. You saved Michiru, after all. I owe you my life.
恩人って大げさよ。友達を助けるのは当然でしょ。
A friend, right?
それに私だって先輩の電話がなかったらもっとひどいことになってたわけだし、ミチルを連れ出したことも含めれば、むしろ私がお礼を言う立場でしょ。
You don't need to think. What do you mean, much worse for you? Are you hurt? As I asked, she turned her eyes away from me.
大げさにするほどじゃないからね。ちょっと手首をひねっただけで。
Hey, that's pretty bad. Your wrist? Hey, that's real freaking bad, isn't it? Misaki tried to hide her right wrist. I didn't know how bad an injury it was, but with something like that, it was undoubtedly going to have an effect on her violin.
どうだろう。聞いてみないとわからないけど、まずいかもね。
Oh no. Misaki cast her eyes downward with a troubled expression. She showed no signs of passing the buck regarding her injury, nor did she seem to regret taking the fall for Michiru and suffering an injury herself. Why didn't you say anything about this before?
みちると先輩に負い目を感じてほしくなかったとかじゃないからね。
She's such a good girl.
さっきは怪我に気づかなかったし、今だってそんなに痛くないから。
I was too careless. I'm sorry, Misaki.
なんで先輩が謝るのよ。どこも悪くないでしょ。
I'm not in the wrong. Is that really true, though? Maybe if I did better, I could have prevented her from getting hurt. Instead, her injury probably got worse because of me.
それは考えすぎだぞ。ご主人が言い含めておらねば、前回の光景が再現されたであろうな。
See, this is one of those moments where I'm like, Kuro helps. Kuro's there. She's been there in his worst moments. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean you're gonna be mean to the goddess?
むしろ、これほどの軽傷で収めたお主は、称賛されても良いだろう。
Kuro appeared out of nowhere, then promptly disappeared after saying her piece. She must have been worried about me. Kuro had nothing but helped me out today. Be nice to her! She was right, there was no point in getting her depressed about this, over this. The person who got the short end of the stick here was the one who got into the accident, the one who was actually injured. Misaki herself. She wasn't asking for an apology. Say, Misaki, just let me know if there's anything I can do.
なんでもって、先輩が気に病まなくても。
That's not my point. I immediately cut Misaki off. We were both stuck in an endless loop of apologies that kept making things more awkward. I needed to break that loop. I want you to rely on me when you're troubled by something. After all, isn't it only natural for me to be worried about the girl I love?
そっか。
Misaki's voice became slightly more cheerful. Although she had her head down, she held out her hand to me like
手が
always.
つなげないのはすっごく問題かもね。
It's a good thing you have another hand. I can carry your bag for you. That way we can hold hands.
そうね。ありがとう。
She raised her head up again with a smile. It was a forced smile, the kind that was trying to tell me not to worry about it.
でも困ったな。コンクールまでに治るといいんだけど。
Yeah, no. Yeah. I couldn't just carelessly tell her she'd be fine. And bringing up how she could just wait for another opportunity would just be irresponsible. Just try to rest up for now, alright? You definitely don't want to do anything to make it even worse.
そうよね。出場できなくなったら優勝も何もないんだし。
While I get the feeling that she won't be able to perform. Misaki nodded at me in agreement, but I still couldn't help but feel something didn't seem right. Really? Misaki, were you practicing to win the contest all along?
当たり前じゃない。それ以外に理由があるの？
It hasn't seemed like that's been your reason lately, though. You were performing for your own enjoyment and you wanted to get better because you just liked doing it. I couldn't help but wonder if actually winning ended up being your second priority. Am I mistaken? She drawled out her words as if she were groaning about it, then sighed as her shoulders drooped. But more than being depressed or anything of the sort, it was more like I'd seen right through her.
それもそうよね。そっちが本題だったわけだし。
Main plan?
なんでもないから。みちるとの約束も関係ないの。
Are you sure? Promise with Michiru? The accident has made it totally slip my mind, but when Misaki pulled Michiru aside before that, was that what she wanted to talk about? I found myself getting curious, but if it was a promise, Misaki probably wouldn't tell me the details. I'd just stick to the issue of recovering from her injury for now.
先輩の言う通りね。演奏を上達させることが目標なんだし。コンクールには出たいけど、 結果を出すことにこだわるのは良くないわね。後からついてくるものであって、順位にこだわったら見失っちゃうか。
That's a good mindset. From what I was seeing, she was almost certainly trying to convince herself of that.
先輩は私のことよく見てるのね。
Well, you know, of course I want to know more about the girl I love.
もうそればっかり。
She began to relax after saying that. Her worried smile turned into a more natural one. But what was that promise about anyway? Walking back home, we continued to chat carefree as ever. Neither her injury nor her promise with Michiru came up in conversation again. Since she seemed to be back in the mood she was in before the accident, I felt I'd managed to cheer her up. Why is this... cannot talk. Why is she not at the hospital? However, I had a little nagging doubt in the back of my head. I kept wondering if that outcome really was for the best. The watch inside my pocket felt even heavier. Later that night, I received a text from Misaki. I hope it's not as serious as it's sounding. I'm getting a little nervous. I really hope it's nothing really bad. Evidently, she had suffered a slight fracture to her wrist, and it would likely take at least 2 weeks' time for it to completely heal. So not enough time, huh?
後に残るような怪我ではなかったのは幸いですが。
Probably not gonna completely heal in time for the contest, right? Ever since Michiru heard about Misaki's injury, she kept worrying about it like it was her own problem. While we were all relieved it wasn't anything serious, when the contest came to mind, there was no room for celebration, especially since Misaki had protected her from that accident. Undoubtedly, she must have felt responsible for the injury. While I'm sure you're aware of this, while I'm sure you'd be aware of this, just try not to apologize to Misaki excessively, alright?
ええ、それ以上の感謝を伝えるつもりです。ですが、兄様からでなくてもよろしいのでしょうか。
I already did, but it's different for you, as another female friend of hers. Not only that, you're both competing as rivals in the contest.
そうですね。
There seemed to be something insinuated in her response. And talking of insinuations, there was also the matter of Misaki's little tongue slip. Say, Michiru, have you made any sort of promise with Misaki lately?
美咲さんから何か聞いたのですか？
Not exactly, but she did mention something about a promise. It was just a slip of the tongue on her part. And it seemed like her goal ended up becoming just to win the contest again, too.
約束ですか。
Michiru closed her eyes in thought for a while. Then she slowly shook her head. So it was a secret after all then.
いえ、そもそも約束なんて交わしていませんから。
Hmm? What? Now, what could Misaki have been talking about?
約束というより、兄様と別れていた時に、美咲さんの一方的な宣言ならありました。
I see.
美咲さんは、今回のコンクールで私に勝ったら、兄様に告白をするそうです。
Oh. Out of curiosity, wasn't that supposed to be a secret?
特にそのようなことは言われませんでしたね。
Oh, well, good for him. I suppose she must have figured you wouldn't tell me.
だとしたら認識が甘すぎますね。私はいつでも兄様の味方ですよ。
This is the only time I'm gonna be like, Michiru, yeah. You're really gonna take sides over something like this?
大ありですよ。兄様が喜ぶことが第一ということです。
Alright, well. I was happy and glad to have her support, but should I not have asked about it? Well, she did say she was going to respond to my confession once the contest is over.
兄様からではなく、自分から言うことに意味があるのでしょうね。例えば、コンクールで私に勝ち、自分を認められるようになりたいとか。
誰にでも誇れるものを手に入れたいのよ、私は。
I see. I thought she had lost her way, but in fact, that had been her goal all along. She was not competing against Michiru, but against the standards she had built for herself. Oh, I get it. I get it now. She truly wanted to be the best at something. Aiming for the best by world standards was an impossibility. So she needed to draw the line somewhere. World standards, national standards, prefectural standards, districtual standards, or even just within the realm of her own school. It was only through pure happenstance that she had drawn that line at Michiru. Had she chosen to compromise, she could have become the best much more easily. Though it was precisely because she refused to compromise that she had impressed me.
つまり、あれは約束などではなく、私に勝てたら兄様をもらうという宣戦布告でした。
I respect that. I really, really respect and admire her ambition to grow, to get better. That's a really good quality, I think, in a person. Somehow, I can see her asking for her parents' consent afterwards. Though that was certainly an admirable goal.
もし優勝したら、その勢いで兄様に抱きついてプロポーズまで行きそうですね。
Now that'd just be embarrassing. Though I'd be more happy than embarrassed, for sure. Whoa! Crap. My infatuation's on the verge of showing itself again. Misaki probably would be the type to confess to me on stage.
兄様の気持ちは分かっていますが、そこまで喜ばれると妹としては複雑ですね。
Well, you've had your route.
というより、美咲さんの告白云々も優勝できたらの話ですよ。
Sorry. You're right. You're competing too, after all.
ちなみにですが、兄様は私と美咲
You
さ
don't want to
ん
know. You don't want to know.
どちらに勝ってもらいたいです
You don't
か？
want to know. Honestly, I just want both of you to do your best. Enough so that you'll have no regrets about it. With that in mind, there wouldn't be any reason in performing if not just to achieve some sort of result. I'll just have to do everything I can for Misaki. And it would be ideal if, at the end of it all, everybody would be able to smile. I doubt that would be the case. Being so that
おはよう先輩。もう起きてるかな？
Being so that Michiru feels the way she feels about him. But if she's serious about doing whatever to see him happy, then maybe she'll get over it pretty quickly. Maybe.
昨日はいろいろと大変だったけど、あんまり心配しないでね。
I'm so glad you're okay.
痛みもほとんどないから、いつも通りよろしくね。
I read those texts from Misaki 3 times each from top to bottom before setting my phone down. They were worded much the same way as any of the other good morning text messages she always sent me. Usually I'd always be quick to respond casually, but this time around I struggled to think of a reply. She sent these texts at a later time than usual, and they had placed particular emphasis on her well-being. It was clear as day that she was trying to quell the anxieties I had. Despite everything she already had in her hands, in a literal sense, I wish she'd counted on me a little more, but giving her personality that would likely prove difficult. It sounds like she's also the type to be hyper-independent, and it takes her a while to actually start relying on people. If I'm gonna make her count on me, I'd better start changing my approach a little. Yeah, I'm awake now. But I can't just not worry about you, so I'll keep worrying about you the same as ever. I don't want to pry or anything, but if anything comes up, just tell me, okay? Also, why don't we have lunch together today? 2 hours after I sent her those texts. Before the start of morning homeroom, I came to Misaki's classroom. She's not there, is she? So basically, I came here to help you out.
どういうわけよ。
Well, I told you in my text, didn't I? I'll keep worrying about you the same as ever. I pointed at her wrist to emphasize my motive. It's plainly visible with the dazzling whiteness of her skin standing out. I could see it was slightly swollen, but she hadn't put a compress or bandages on it at all. Huh. That's strange.
兄様がご奉仕をしてくださると聞きましたが。
Don't word it like that. Since Misaki's injured, I came in to stick my nose into her business.
おせっかいって分かってるんじゃない。
けれど、嬉しさが隠しきれない美咲さんは笑顔になってしまうのでした。
なってないわよ。嬉しくなっちゃったけど、笑顔は我慢してるわ。
She couldn't get the blush off her face though.
美咲ちゃん、怪我してるの？
Turning around, I saw Miu, who seemed quite surprised to hear the news. Don't tell me. Misaki was trying to keep that under wraps or something.
その通りです。
Looks like she read his mind. I didn't just mention it out loud, did I?
以心伝心ですね。私としては心だけでなく体もつながりたいのです。
Jesus Christ, stop talking.
みちるちゃんはちょっと静かにしてね。
You know it's bad when even the quiet and flustered one and shy one tells her to be quiet.
かしこまりました。
That was quite a terrifying display of authority I just witnessed. Indeed, but I'm glad. Heck yeah, Miu locked in.
みさきちゃん。怪我っていうほどの怪我じゃない
Are
ん
you
だけど。
really downplaying it after almost dying?
先輩、ちょっとこっち来て。みーちゃんには後で話すから。
Misaki, seemingly unable to stand Miu's gaze any longer, took my hand and tried to pull me along, but she tripped. I stopped her from falling flat on her face by grabbing her hips.
美咲さんたら教室で抱き合うなんて。
そこははしたないとかじゃ、羨ましいけど。
Misaki, you're not hurt, are you?
ありがとう。じゃないわよ。どうして動いてくれないのよ。
That sounded kinda sexy. I guess a girl's strength won't make me budge from where I stand.
そうじゃなくて、ここは私と一緒に屋上に行くべきで
Hey,
しょ。
there are some strong girls out there. She could be a strong girl. Oh, so you wanted to go there.
そうよ。二人でこっそり内緒話がしたいの。
Her wanting to talk to me certainly wasn't a secret. Huh? Okay. So I guess what she wanted to talk to me about was a secret in question. Got it. Later, Michiru.
あとはお任せください。みーさんには今節丁寧に説明させていただきます。
Well, just give her the Cliff's Notes. I guess Miu is gonna be on Misaki's injury now as well. That should put less pressure on Misaki whenever she gets asked about it. Though I'm pretty sure that the same circumstances wouldn't apply to how she'd taken me by my hand like that. Undoubtedly, by the time she returned to class, the rumors would be spreading like wildfire. I wanna know the secret, excuse me, and then we're wrapping it up.
ご奉仕って何よ。
That's just how Michiru worded it. As I was saying, I came to help you out.
そうだったわね。でもお世話って、私は平気ってメールにも書いたじゃない。もしかして怪我のことを気に病んでるの？
I'm not gloomy about it, but I'm certainly worried. That's your dominant hand, so not being able to make use of it as much could be a problem, right? Like, when they call you to the blackboard or something?
そうね。
Not only that, but you hadn't even told Mio about it yet back there. I know you don't want to make people worry, but isn't that kinda counterproductive?
そうよね。私が逆の立場ならすっごく心配するだろうし。先輩との話が終わってから説明するわ。
Ah, it looks like Michiru's taking care of that. Still, you should follow up with her later.
何してくれてるのよ。
I figured if Miu knew about it beforehand, it'd make her less worried about you.
そうかもだけど、みちるのことだから余計なことまで吹き込みそうだもん。
She is right.
嘘を言わなくても紛らわしい言い方したり、純粋なみーちゃんは騙されちゃうわ。
Misaki seemed just as innocent and liable to getting the wrong idea as her, though. Well, just try to trust Michiru on this. It's you we're worried about here. after all.
授業のノートは後でみーちゃんに借りるから大丈夫よ。
Well, then, I guess that just leaves the matter of feeding you, so that can be my role.
それこそみーちゃんにお願いするわよ。
Well, not like I mind. At my instantaneous response, Misaki's expression suddenly froze. Her eyes closed for a moment as if she were deep in thought, and the attention gradually seeped away from her lips.
あんまりみーちゃんに頼ってばかりはダメよね。先輩も気にしてそうだし、手伝わせてあげなくっちゃダメだし。仕方ない。これは仕方ないのよ。
But I don't think Mia would mind. She might even offer to help without you needing to ask.
毎日お願いするわけにもいかないし。
Couldn't you just try eating things you could manage with just one hand?
それはそうだけど。いやいや、そんなの栄養が偏っちゃうからダメでしょ。
There's certainly other ways of dealing with that.
工夫とかそんな。そこで頑張らなくてもいいじゃない。
Fair enough. Seems like they'd be unhealthy in a completely different way.
そうよ。不自由を強いるのは体に悪いわ。
I suppose if you were to eat stuff that's delicious and healthy, you'll recover a little faster. Misaki's expression kept changing by the second, naturally. It was adorable to see.
そう。だったら今日のお昼から早速お願いするわね。今日のお弁当食べづらいものだったし。
Why does she take that sort of lunch with her to start with anyway? Did she do it on purpose? Was this her plan from the very beginning? That wouldn't change me having to feed her though, so what the heck? Right, then I'll come over to your classroom at lunch. How about we invite Miyu and Michiru to join in too? The four of us.
さもいいこと思いついたように言わないでよ。みんなに見られちゃうじゃない。
I'm just trying to keep the first year boys in check, showing off how nicely we get along, you know?
する必要ないから。私はそんなに軽い女じゃないの。
Yeah, I trust you on that. I'm just worried they'll try to swarm you.
ちゃんと断るから大丈夫よ。
So she really does intend to confess to me. Well, it's not like I was expecting any different. Are you sure? Roger that. So we'll have lunch up here then?
他の人は連れてこないでよ。
Got it. And also, is it alright if I can only help you out with lunch?
もしかして家まで来てくれる
Wait,
の？
what? I can only help you out with lunch? Nah, I guess that'd be kind of tough in the mornings and evenings.
そうだよね。
Still, I'll make an effort to help you out, no matter what.
どうして？さすがにそこまでは頼れないかな。お父さんとお母さんもいるんだから、泊まり込みとかしたら同棲みたいになっちゃうでしょ？
No. I think she got too carried away with that one. That certainly came like a bat out of hell. I guess we'll have to keep taking things step by step like a proper relationship. Well, outside of school stuff, I'll leave everything up to your family. Also, how about walking to school together?
それってみちるに付き添う DD 先輩みたいに？
I guess I can't wake you up in the morning though.
先輩も起こしてもらってるの？
Sometimes, though, lately I've been trying to wake up earlier. I have your text, thank for that. I should have left well enough alone there. I wondered if I should use the watch, but instead I ended up giving Misaki a backhanded compliment to settle the matter. Guess I'm gonna end up having to give her a wake-up call tomorrow morning. I thought that was weird enough in itself, but oh well. Weird. Why? Why is that weird? I don't understand why. I don't see why it's weird. After several hours of classes and short breaks, the time for us to have lunch finally arrived. Since Misaki disapproved of the idea, I figured it was best not to swing by her classroom to meet her. Was she annoyed with me about this morning? I texted Miu about it out of concern, but her response came as a spot of good news.
ねえ先輩と美咲ちゃん、教室の中ですっごく噂になってますよ。付き合ってるんじゃないかってクラスの女の子が話してます。
I get it. So I wasn't being a bother after all. She was just embarrassed. Why is bro so... Yeah, that's good. I guess that explains why you're in high spirits.
先輩はいきなり何言っちゃってるの？
Huh? What are you talking about? I was just going to say, why is he suddenly getting... I don't think insecure is the word. I don't even know if self-conscious is the word either. But notice how he's now checking for like confirmation that she's actually into him. That could just be because things are finally starting to get serious and now he needs that validation to feel safe. But I feel like 2-3 episodes ago, he wasn't really tripping about that. He was kind of like, oh yeah, she's about me. I like her. We're taking it slow, or rather, we're taking it slow until after the contest. But I find it interesting that he's now barely getting in his head about it by constantly checking, is she actually into me? Is she actually going to confess? What if somebody else makes a move on her? That kind of thing is what I'm talking about. But anyway, I'll leave it at that. It was a decent episode. Got me a little bit worried. Glad everyone's okay. Nothing too crazy aside from them almost dying. Yeah. I had a good time and a good scare. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. Again, looking at this route in a way that it's probably not meant to be super serious, I find myself having enjoyed this episode a lot more, I think. Yeah. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please remember, consider hitting that like and subscribing if you haven't already done so. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. I lied. I won't see you in the next video. You'll see me in the next video. As always, y'all stay safe. Until next time.